So the iPhone 5S is still being used by many people. It still runs the latest operating system, and Apple has recently released the iOS 10.3.2 for all iOS 10 compatible devices, including the iPhone 5S. So a couple days after releasing of the brand new operating system, I'm making a review on it because I want to focus on the things you need to know about it, and of course, if you should go ahead and update if you haven't already. So let's better get into it. Now, before I actually install the update, I just want to make something that will help us see if the update has any impact on the iPhone 5S. I'm going to perform some quick tests before and after installing the iOS 10.3.2 and compare the results. So first of all, I'm having here on the table the iPhone 5S, which is running iOS 10.3.1. Let me jump into settings real quick just to confirm that it is true. So as you can see, the update to 10.3.2 is right there. Now let's start with unlocking the phone. I'm also having the stopwatch here next to the 5S, and I'll try to be as accurate as I can. Let's start in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so I paused the video as you can see in order for you to see the result. Now something very similar, let's try to take a photo as fast as I can, and I'll do my best to measure it. Let's start in 3, 2, and 1. Again, pausing the video for you guys right after snapping a photo to see it better. And the last thing I'm going to do before updating is something internet-based, which may seem to be a little subjective, but I'll try to make it fair. I'll be using the same Wi-Fi and I'll be in the same distance from router in both tests. Let's open up apple.com in 3, 2, and 1. Pausing the video just like every time, because I want to provide you the exact numbers. Now let's move on to the actual updating process. So this is how it looks like in the settings. It is by no means a big update with couple hundred megabytes. The download process shouldn't take long for sure, but it of course depends on the speed of your Wi-Fi. In terms of the update, this is definitely not the last one from iOS 10. We have already received the first beta of iOS 10.3.3, and maybe, I'm not sure about it, but I think that Apple will also release the 10.3.4, but only containing some small improvements and changes. Because by that time, all the attention will be focused on iOS 11. Some people may be wondering if the iPhone 5S will support iOS 11. And the answer is simple. Yes, it will be supported. The iPhone 5 and 5C will no longer be able to run the next version of iOS, which by the way doesn't necessarily need to be called iOS 11. Some other options are possible as well. If we take a look at the description of this update again, it doesn't say a lot about the changes that are present in this version. All we can see is that there are some security improvements. And yeah, that's the purpose of releasing this. In general, we don't expect any significant or visible changes in these small updates. As I said, this update is dedicated to fixing bugs. On Apple's website, under Security Content of iOS 10.3.2, you can see all the places where it got better and improved. Probably the biggest thing that has changed or improved is the Ibooks app. In the older version, it was actually possible to download a book containing some kind of virus, or as they call it, maliciously crafted book that could potentially do some bad things to your device. Like, for example, open up some websites without you knowing that it's happening. When using the freshly updated device, I haven't noticed any drastic changes in terms of the speed and how well it manages to do some tasks, but it's definitely not slow. Considering that this iPhone 5S has been released a couple years ago, it's great that it still supports the latest iOS. Let's take a look at the storage before and after updating. So running the iOS 10.3.1, the capacity is at 12.39 GB and the available storage is at 950 MB. Now after the update is installed, the capacity as you can see got down just a little bit, and also the available storage got a little lower as well. But of course it isn't that much. Now I think it is the best time to perform the tests again. But first of all, I need to show you that we already have the brand new version of the iOS installed on this iPhone 5S. As you can see, the 10.3.2 is the latest version. Let's start with the unlocking test. Just like before, I'm placing the same finger on the home button and we are on the lock screen. So now we have 1.65 seconds. Taking a look back at the same test before where the result was 1.7 seconds, well, now it's a little faster, but it's not something you will notice in everyday life. The second test, as you can see, it took 1.19 seconds to snap that photo, which is actually 0.2 seconds slower. And finally, the last test where I open up the Apple website. Wow, it's significantly faster in this version, but as I mentioned, it is internet based, so it's not really something strictly depending on the iOS. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If I had to say, if you need to go ahead and update to the latest version on your iPhone 5s, I would say yes. It contains some important security improvements, even if you lose a little bit of the storage, but it's still a great update in my opinion. Make sure to click the subscribe button if you don't want to miss anything. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you next time. Peace.